Team Solo Med and Cloud9, that's going to be a guaranteed top 4 placement, as this is going to be a very decisive match for these guys. No Alpha, no Kestrel, and, well, this is where the cards lie.
All right, we're going to get right into this match here as we go live. And, yeah, it took a few seconds here to get that desk sorted out and, of course, take care of the audio. I apologize to everybody in the chat.
Were you muted?
Yep.
Yep.
But that's all right, because we're in here, we're ready to go, and the game has started, and we've got, of course, Gaspy, Cloud9. This is the roster they had yesterday, actually. Gaspy, Lost Boy Toff, and I Love Joseph. The TSM, though, is the standard TSM roster. And, you know, again, we got this rhyme, and it looks like a little tanky, although we got a lot of CP there, forecourt.
Yeah, a lot of CP actually going through at least 3 of the characters. We have to see which way Flash wants to go after that steal. We have seen some early starts, Crystal fading into Weapon into Crystal, sort of hybrid kind of stuff, or just straight out, you know, sell everything. But for now, Flash X, he's going to be the first one to go home. He's going to be able to do a little bit extra shopping, of course, with Battle Royale. You got to die to make it happen. But 2 Crystal and a Lost Boy, who may still actually go into an Aftershock by the all things that are said and done. They've taken the first blood.
They have. You know, we saw Cloud9 struggling a little bit in their games. Very close matchups, almost going down, but they were able to persevere there. Aggressive play by Von C. He's going to die, but his teammates help pick up that revenge kill. Best Chuck and A coming in nice positioning and engagement just at the right time when Flash X showed up there with the saw.
Now, Chuck and Taka both look like they're gearing up to pick up those fountains here for the team. Flash gets denied on the dank shank. Has to use those boots to motor on out, but Best Chuck is there. They turn around, suppressing fire, no problem. And Best Chuck actually still may yet go down. There it is. Gaspy finishes it off there with a helo, has the level 6, and blows up the supernova. Gaspy goes impressive, but now Von C picks up the kill, no problem. Triple weapon blade was his shopping spree. And he's back, and he's ready to get that revenge kill.
Oh, man, yeah, really nice dive in there to kind of go in there and pick up that kill. Von C, of course, playing the typical aggressive Von C style, only not in the jungle, this time in the lane. But this lane is like a jungle, as these minions kind of get in the way there and allow you to kind of push on aggressive. Oh, wow, nice afterburn. Von C, though, does take a turret shot. Big red button comes out. Doesn't do a lot, but Lost Boy Top finishes up with Tataka.
Yeah, Gaspy gets a kill, gets the second there as well. And Chuck, he's going to have to use the boots to survive. And Frostburn first here on Joseph. The Thunder Strikes will be able to blow the slow. Same there with the big red button. But for now, we're just going to be laying into the turret. We do got a crown there on top, so his damage up against turrets and the like, it's actually not going to be too shabby, but not really going to be the end-all when it comes to fighting out the players.
Yeah, and you see Best Chuck today actually taking a lot of damage there. He was kind of struggling to land some of his spires where he wanted, so he wasn't getting that fortified health right off the bat. And of course, they do a nice amount of damage on the turrets. But then Von C comes in and starts doing the typical aggressive Von C stuff.
I'm actually rather surprised that the core collabs didn't hit them there, but Flash is going rather aggressive, does have a shank, and he is able to pick up the kill there on top of the Taka. Von C right into the wall, just nails him shut. Oh, Joseph should be able to pick this one up, unless Von C has cooldowns to spare. It's just not going to happen. So that's going to be the first ace of the game as Cloud9 do take it, but you can see the tension bow at work.
Oh, man, it was so much damage. I mean, it just looked like the afterburn turned into an instant delete. You could barely even see the animation of him turning back and pulling that stun. Of course, Best Chuck A coming in there, hyper aggressive. If you look at that build, he's only got one defensive item, got that Fountain of Renewal and the Eve of Harvest. That will definitely give him a little bit more life into these fights, but very aggressive as far as building a lot of damage on this rhyme.
It will be a triple crystal after all here from Cloud9, and now Flash X, he's going to be the target. Lost Boy going to get some damage there. Von C not very interested in the peel, but again, they don't have a turret there. It did just go down, so Lost Boy should be able to just weasel his way out of this one. But, you know, Best Chuck will keep him company. Von C's looking for the execute, and he gets it. Has a Sora Blade on top of that tension bow, so he's actually starting to hit pretty hard. And if you don't got armor, and I don't see much, he will be hitting some big numbers.
Yeah, I Love Joseph does miss the big red button, but Lost Boy Top is able to lock down on the Von C and finish up that kill. But Best Chuck Day, he's full health. His barrier is just not letting them eat through. Look at the damage that he's able to apply on that Jewel. Jewel better not run away too much. They do finally get the stun, but it's not before he's able to continue applying damage. But now that fortified health, oh my goodness, he's able to actually pull off Well, he doesn't pull off by himself. The Flash X Saw does come in and help him out, but he nearly single-handedly pulled off that double kill.
You weathered the storm, and that's why you get that Eve of Harvest. That's why Best Chuck, if he can stick to you there, it's rather hard to do anything else. Gaspy, though, just insta-gibbing Flash X. The turret will survive, and we have 21 kills here, 5 minutes, no problem. Von C is here. Gaspy is going to block out the stun, has a stun of his own, but it won't matter by then. You can see Von C and Best Chuck just able to team it down, no problem. That's going to be turret there as well here, Dragon. And when it comes to the money, we're not really that far off, but TSM's up about $1,000.
It's a slight, yeah, not too bad. We've definitely seen nice trades back and forth. Really, the shining star has been Best Chuck in A. He's been able to definitely turn fights around. It looks like he's cut out here, though. That stun doesn't land, but he gets pushed back. He's got the fortified health, but it's just not enough. He's probably going to go down, and he does. Yeah, when he's with his teammates and they're able to pull off these fights together, it looks a lot better, but isolated, TSM does kind of fall off as their over-aggressiveness can sometimes hurt them.
Now, it's not a weapon, it's not a crystal here on top of this saw, but whatever it is, it's enough to keep Love Joseph at bay, looking for the shank. Does land on top of Toph instead, but now TSM is going to give up another kill here. Flash X with that roll, not exactly the best of positions, but here goes Von C with that second Sorrow Blade Dragon. He's able to execute once more Joseph, but yeah, the flow of the kills aside, everybody's basically just free-forming with their money at this point, and again, it's really not that big a deal when it comes to the gold difference.
It's not going to be. I mean, we're looking at just a small lead. The kills, although have a little bit in favor of Cloud9, have definitely, as far as like when they pick up the aces, gone equally both ways. Both teams have picked up significant aces. Von C, of course, taking a lot of damage right there. Lost point off. He's going to back out and jump into that box, get out of that fight. But it's definitely been pretty close, and of course, itemization shows the same thing, but huge contrast in how these teams are building. The triple crystal from Cloud9, which we saw yesterday as well, doing a lot of damage, but it's definitely going to be easy to focus late game, whereas the comp coming out of TSM is a little bit more unique.
Well, the whole aim there was to kill Gaspy before he's able to do his magic there with the Helios and such, and well, they did it, and they did it well, even through that reflex block. It's not going to be enough there for Gaspy, but he does have 3 items, and he's going to have to think about what he did for a few. I Love Joseph tries to jump in. You can see Toph just trying to stay on top of Flash, but Flash at this point with the lifesteal and double Aegis, especially up against this triple crystal. Yeah, he hangs on. Von C can't actually say that he does the same. Neither will Chuck at the end of it all. Joseph just showing us the power of that big red button all the way stacked to 5, Dragon. It really tears through. Aegis or not.
Yeah, that Crystal Jewel with a nice stun and a big red button can do a lot of work. You saw the glaive just melt when he took it full frontal, and now this is actually a huge pickup for Cloud9, as what they've basically been playing pretty evenly as far as trades, and this is really a nice advantage, a nice lead they're going to be picking up here. I Love Joseph, Lost Boy Toph definitely putting on some of this aggression, the synergy, looking really strong.
Yeah, Lost Boy with the cooldowns as low as they are right now. He's going to get some immense damage here on top of these turrets. He's not even interested in the fight whatsoever. Von C and Gaspy. Gaspy just trying to delay at this point, seeing if Lost Boy, Toph, and Joseph there can actually finish off the game. They have cleared out the turrets. Lost Boy, though, looks like he's not going to get hit by the Blade Song. He's the Blood Song, but he will actually get caught up. He jukes out very nicely right back there to Joseph, and Joseph is just going to lay into them there with the big red. Doesn't get a kill. But now Toph is just trying to survive as long as he can here.
Yeah, he's just stalling them. He knows that if he can put a little bit of damage and kind of play Ring Around the Rosie with their team, he should be able to get this worked out here. Oops, let me fix that.
Look at Flash. Flash does not care. He's like, you two got defense. I'm going to go on the offensive. And this turret is not even really going to phase him at all. That's going to be a free little bit of gold now in the pocket. Lost Boy does eventually fall off. And now Gaspy's trying to chase down Saw. This is going to be a bit of a 2v3 push up against Cloud9. And I think they might just survive. I think there's too much distance here to travel.
Yeah, they're going to be able to keep pushing and finish this off nicely. If they can get past this Celeste, if they could put the pressure and take her out quickly, they have a real good shot at here. You do see the afterburn going in. Big red button, though, connects. Holy smokes, that was a perfectly placed big red button. And I think single-handedly, Cloud9 just won the game.
The core collapse into big red button, into the solar storm. Flash X actually still might get the kill here. Gaspy's not faring too well. Flash with the shank. Not going to happen. No, he's finally done so. That's going to be the ace. Joseph now motoring forward. Nothing to stop him here. So it will be a win here for Cloud9, but stun into Big Red Button, followed up by a Solar Storm. You can have 6 Aegis. I don't think anybody survives that.
No, not at all, man. That's very strong pickup there for Cloud9. This game's going to be going their way. Just perfect placement, and I thought that either team could have won that fight, but again, it comes down to skill shots, and I love Joseph. He's got them nailed down. This Jewel doing perfect work here as they pick up game number 1 against TSM.
You can see Vonsi dancing there by the end of it. So triple crystal worked out yesterday, seems to be working out here at least again today. Flash didn't really go damage oriented. That's not something you see from saws these days. Yeah, is the serpent with the crown, double Aegis, had tier 1 boots by the end of it there, Dragon. Not a typical build.
Not typical, but then again, you know, this Battle Royale tends to bring out these really unique kind of strategies to building. You know, one thing about the Von C Tension Bow is that, you know, Tension Bow does give you some pierce in armor, and so building a lot of weapon damage after that isn't a bad idea, and keeping the Tension Bow, not selling it. Although the proc does fall off, if you can get enough weapon damage, that pierce can be effectively used. Although I think Bonesaw, usually a better choice in this case here. Although he's obviously keeping that on. But yeah, you know, not that quick of a game. 10 minutes and 29 seconds. That's actually a pretty long, hefty Battle Royale match.
I think the longest I've ever done is like 14, 16 minutes, somewhere in that range.
I've heard of them going pretty long. I've seen a 22-minute Battle Royale match. That's the longest.
22 minutes is rather insane.
It is insane, and it happens. But a lot of the times it happens because you get a very close match where teams just don't want to throw, and therefore they stall for a good majority. It's not a fun time. But this match, very exciting. A lot of action. These teams going back and forth. So as we get into the second game here very quickly, we are going to just take a quick second here.
You might have to restart. I had to restart.
Yep, going to have to do that for sure.
Yay, whatever this bug is, please go away.
So while we're restarting, I'm going to jump into the bracket. So we did, of course, have the first day yesterday, and I want to be able to take a few moments to show you guys the progress as we did complete most of the rounds in the round of 32 and 16. A few straggler games taking place today that did not complete. Some of the big surprises was Hammer's velocity did go down. They ended up falling to Team Vape Nation. Vape Nation waiting for their matchup to take place once either Team Mango or Necrolites come in. And then, of course, we're looking down. We still have a few more matches from the round of 16 that need concluded. Cheek Clappers and Gangstars Serious. I actually thought we streamed that match, so I'm going to have to look into that. I'm pretty sure Gangstars Serious...
We totally did.
We totally did,
right?
We
totally did.
So that match actually has concluded. Gangster Serious moved on past Cheek Clappers. And when we look also, Ardent, Aurora... Actually, I believe the Gangstars Ardent game is what took place. So interesting little development there on the bracket. But when we look over onto the right side of the bracket, of course, we are doing the TSM Cloud9 matchup, and then we're going to be jumping, once Team Parallel knows who they're playing, we'll be able to jump into that. So we're looking like this bracket's really making its way through the process, and it's going to be finishing up pretty soon. But as we come back here, forecourt, the bans. We've got the second
Celeste Kestrel. So no Celeste, no Kestrel. Oh, wow. This is actually going to stick. And we're going to see our first Gwen of the tournament. It's going to be Gwen, Scarf, Petal. Talk about ranged crystal.
Yeah, we have not seen a Gwen yet, and I think we all agree. I mean, I've been looking forward to seeing one as we get into this match momentarily. At Cloud9, though, I love Joseph on that Vox. I can't say I've seen I Love Joseph play a lot of Vox, but I have to imagine with his skill set, that's not a problem.
Very unlikely that he's going to kind of flop at this point, but triple ranged Crystal could absolutely come out here. Flash X still trying to play a little bit more like the roam self that he is. It's not actually going to build into that weapon, and Von C is going to show us a weapon Petal. All right, this is getting a little spicy here, Dragon. Gaspy is gearing up for an Aftershock. Lila of Joseph looks like it's going to be a Crystal Vox, and something more of a support banner-ish kind of Taka going forward.
Yeah, you do see tanky Takas or tanky Koshkas in these Battle Royales just because they like to go into the fight, do a little bit of damage, and get out, and if you don't build enough defense early, that could be very problematic. So, one of the unique things is seeing Cloud9 with the Scout Traps. I mean, you do see this at certain times, teams pull this out. It's usually extremely annoying, but it's also a lot of gold. So, I'm curious to the strategy if this is a really good long-term decision here by Cloud9.
Well, a lot of Cloud9 strategy early on will also be complementing that with the Vox. You know, to get those resonance, get the bounces out, just let the bounces do their work. If Lost Boy Toph is going to commit, he really has to make sure he can get a kill because triple range will chase him on out. And you can already see some of those traps actually exploding. That's going to be a little bit too deep here from TSM. Picks up the second there with Gaspy at the helm, and Flash is going to drop for the first ace here, minute and a half in.
Oh, man. Phew. That is a huge turnaround there for TSM, sorry, for Cloud9 to kind of come in there early in the game, taking out TSM and getting that early ace. An early ace like that is so devastating. It can snowball the game and make it really hard to come back.
Yeah, absolutely can. That's going to be the turret then down, so that safety net is gone from TSM, and Vonsi comes back in. I'm not entirely too sure what he thought he was doing, but Lost Boy is going to be more than happy to take him down, and now Lost Boy gets to spend a little bit of that cash, but the rest of Cloud9 is here as well. And once more, as said, you know, Gwen definitely going to be fulfilling more of a roam role here from Flash, so when it's a 2v1 like this, he does not have too much to offer in terms of resistance.
Yeah, he is tanky, though, so he's going to be able to put up, take a lot of damage and not have to worry too much. Not a lot of support-like attributes to Gwen, other than she does provide, I think, a little bit of a vision if she lands one of her abilities, but right now it doesn't matter. She's able to get some of that damage on, and with the help of Von C, take out that kill, and Gaspy goes down. Picking up the Fountain and Aftershock, though, on the Catherine, that's definitely going to hurt.
Yeah, Gaspy was just looking to stack his passive, go down when he could, especially when they were especially when TSM was getting pushed, because it's going to take a little bit longer for them to counter push like they're trying here. Lost Boy, though, again, does go in a little bit too deep. If he can't get a kill, he's going to get chased out by the triple, and he is actually on the verge of making this a double Fountain comp. So it's a lot of the damage is going to be here residing on top of Joseph.
Yeah, double Fountain already on the side of Cloud9, and of course they have the lead. A couple deaths there, although they kind of need to make sure they take those deaths quickly. Actually, I love Joseph still needing to, it might be needing to go back again as he sits on 3,000 gold. But their turret, it's at about a little over half health, but it's definitely still pretty strong, and they've got some vision to kind of help them make some of these decisions. Right now, they're just trying to keep isolating, putting damage onto TSM, and Lost Boy Toph going in pretty strong on Von C, but that Fountain's popped, keeping him alive. Oh, but down Von C goes. Lost Boy Toph keeps applying the pressure.
And Toph is able to pick that up there with the help of Joseph. We did lose out Gaspy a bit early on. You can't sit in those Scarf Flames, not at all, especially since he's basically full board damage. And that with that Frostburn there as well, yeah, it's going to be a little bit going a far way to mitigate the engage that we have here from Cloud9. But for now, Joseph and Toph, they're getting some pretty good damage done here on this push. Flash X is there for the defense, but even if Nemesis die, again, it's not going to be an ace. Gaspy will be there for the defense, and that's honestly going to be the best time. If this next fight, they can even trade out evenly. Like Nemesis or Cloud9 is just going to have a lot of cash to spend here.
Yeah, even with this early game pressure, the gold's pretty even. The fight breaks out. Von C goes solo. The Resonance picks him up.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do here with this Vox. He charges forward, he gets those Resonance bounces, and then it's just the slow burn from there. So Cloud9 does not even need to go shop, although that we are going to pick up at least Toph for now. He's going to be able to go and pick up that cash. And Joseph, yeah, he's about to go spend 6K himself. But Chuck, with this push, it's going to be a very slow go to get to that turret.
It's a shame after a really good fight like that, you didn't see them try to prioritize the objective. I understood they were pretty low health and they wanted to go back and pick up some of that gold, but they probably could have gotten one more turret out of that forecourt. Instead, they end up just pushing the wave, and now it looks like Gaspy, so he goes down. You don't want to underestimate the power that comes out of those stacked auto attacks.
Yeah, it's also Best Chuck with a full creep wave at his disposal. I mean, that stuff isn't exactly a feather. Does hit fairly hard as time does
creep
go
up on you.
especially the whole wave. Yeah. Von C has gone straight into the weapon. Full damage, very little defense. He's looking for the Aegis, and as long as he can kite, that's all he really needs to do. They've lost out the Scarf, but now TSM should be able to hold at least for now defensively. You can see Gaspy, he's going for that Broken Myth up next. I Love Joseph has the Alternating Current and that Eva Harvest. And Toph probably going for an Aftershock 5 to bet.
Maybe. He's definitely needs to start putting a little bit more damage, as just the Storm Crown is not going to be enough. And man, but they're doing enough right now. Lost Boy Toph still goes in on Flash, and there's a fountain comes in. I Love Joseph really could have used that fountain, and he did. Perfect timing by Gaspy to come in there. Of course, we do see I Love Joseph going down, but they got a lot of work done. They picked up the turret. They got 2 kills. That's a really nice, clean trade for Cloud9.
And Joseph picks up the Shattered Glass because of it there as well. That's honestly, I mean, they're doing it right. Cloud9 is aggressing, they're overcommitting, and then they're dying for it, but they are able to spend the money. They're keeping TSM on the back foot, and TSM's having a very hard time pushing past that first turret. It's a lot of this as well is due to Von C. He needs that Aegis and perhaps a little bit of more shield after that, but his weapon, like, he's probably done the least amount of damage this game.
Yeah, though he's doing a lot of damage there. The help of Scarf, of course, but those stack breaking points definitely were doing a lot of damage there as they start to put the pressure on. Scarf moving in. Von C being really aggressive with this pedal.
As you can see, Lost Boy is going to be the response. Has himself that the MAME for the Atlas Pauldron, so he jumps on top of Von C, has the Pauldron, and so far Joseph has actually been dueling out nicely here, 2v1. We do got the breath coming in though. Lost Boy a bit too far forward, has that fountain. It's not going to be enough to keep him going. Joseph not going to get the kill on top of Von C. With all 3 of TSM coming down, that should be a kill here for Chuck, and he will grab it, but they are denied the ace. Gaspy's already back, and he's coming back up to the front.
Yeah, and he should be able to land a nice Blast Tremor if he can. Take these guys down to really low health. Unfortunately, though, he decides... Oh, he's not up. It's still on cooldown. And the turret goes down. Now they're chasing. Gaspy's able to get away. And they're just going to wait for their minion wave to come in here, help clear out, and start working on this turret again.
The nature of the staggered deaths from Cloud9 is starting to backfire a little bit. You can't actually force a 3v3, lose 2 turrets because of it. And Gaspy, as you said, I mean, he might have been able to do a nice Blast Tremor, but he had nothing stacked up. He does have that infusion, but a 5-stack would have went a lot farther than the 1. And for now, you know, TSM, they back off, they heal up. It's going to be a while to the next fight here, Dragon.
Yeah, I think this is when the teams kind of recoup. We're looking at a lot of gold, though, on the side of TSM. Or, sorry, on the side of TSM. And that's going to be a little bit of disadvantage. Kind of nice decision here by Cloud9 to just sit in base, build up a few more of these tier 3 items so that they could be very prepared for this next team fight. TSM won that fight, as you were saying, because they weren't staggered, and as well as the fact that they had just come out of base more recently. But now it's going to be Cloud9's chance to kind of come in and hit a power spike into this next team fight and see if they can win. Excuse me. A really strong team fight by Cloud9 could actually secure them the game. These death timers are starting to go pretty long as we get late into the game. 10 minutes, you do not want to give up an ace 10 minutes into a Battle Royale match.
This is definitely a little bit more of an interesting stalemate that I don't think I've ever seen before when it comes to Battle Royale. So on one side, TSM is waiting for the push. On the other, we're actually waiting for the same thing from Cloud9. They are staying in their sanctuary, and the advantage is going to go to Cloud9 simply because 2 members of theirs can still buy, whereas TSM is accumulating all this cash. Look at Best Chuck, for example. They don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and that's a really smart decision by Cloud9, and now I think TSM realizes that. They needed to put the pressure on early. There's going to be such a huge disadvantage. I mean, Gaspy's the only one with a lot of gold in his pocket because he wasn't able to, of course, go back. But now with all of Cloud9 out, forecourt...
I mean, they bought all their items, got the infusion, said, okay, boys, let's do it. Double silence. Is it good enough there to take down Von C? We're zerging down Best Chuck, and now Flash X. Not going to be lasting too much longer here. Gaspy should be able to finish him off. Joseph, needs to go back the other way. And I mean, Gatsby as well. I mean, he has the damage to do this. It's not like he's just a Catherine. He's not a problem. He's going to clean it up. And that's going to be ace buff minions. It's going to be ace buffed Cloud9. This actually could just be game.
This really might be game. 23 seconds until Voncee's up, and I don't even think Voncee by himself has enough damage to stop this onslaught. The only thing going for them is they don't have a minion wave pushing with them. That might hold them back just a bit, but it looks like, look at that, they're clearing through that final crystal turret. They're going to take it down. Only 8 seconds left. It's not going to be enough time, and Cloud9 going in for the victory. The crystal is about to fall.
Well, that's going to be Cloud9 2-0ing solo mid. I'm sure that they could have wished they could have done that in Evil 8, but for when it comes to Battle Royale, Cloud9 reigns supreme.
Yeah, nice matchup. Really nice decision by Cloud9. They kind of caught TSM in a bad spot where TSM realized that, you know, they wanted to go back and heal up and maybe push the wave forward, but they allowed, because of the way they stagnated those kills, for over half of Cloud9 to sit in base, pick up all those items. It just gave Cloud9 that extra edge forecourt in the next team fight, and at some point they realized if they waited any longer, it was just going to keep adding to that disadvantage that they were going to have.
Well, they painted themselves, whether they knew it or not, but Cloud9, I wouldn't say they had the stronger comp, but they definitely had the stronger items at the end of it, Dragons. So that, as they say, is that. Who do you want to jump into next?
Alrighty, well, we are going to be jumping to the next matchup. I do believe, as the schedule, of course, this time was really well laid out, and it's going to be Ardent Aurora versus Spectrum Pro. So we're actually a little bit behind schedule, but it's not a problem, as we're going to be moving very quickly as we go through these matchups here. So that should be it. I'll definitely check it on with the admins, make sure that matchup's almost ready to start, as I'm sure Ardent Aurora is ready to get this going. This is one of those matches, I believe, that's kind of trailing off from yesterday's. I'm actually looking at it. It's
Ardent and Spectrum? Yeah, it's around a 16.
So it's one of the 16 matches that we want to get into. So it looks like here are the invites, and it looks like they're ready to go. Forecourt, that's nice to see. Really fluid movement here. The teams are excited. It looks like we've got Ardent on B side. So we're going to be ready to get into that in just a few seconds.
Either I'm broken again.
We're broken again.
There we go. We're good.
All right.
BRC mod. Oh, I get it.
Let's take a look. Did they put bans in already? Scroll up there and see. Looks like we've got a Lyra ban. And what else do we got?
They both no bans from Tambe.
No bans.
That's what they said. They said no bans.
All right.
Dragon, this is game 2.
This is game 2. All right. How was the outcome of game number 1?
Trogdor.
You can just type that in the chat. It's not a
Somebody won.
I wasn't spectating. It was Trogdor spectating the match.
Ardent lost. There we go.
Okay, so Spectrum Pro pulling out that victory here. So they're up 1-0. This is going to be pretty much on Ardent now if they want to keep their tournament lives intact. They're going to have to jump into it. So it looks like with those bans...
No bans.
No bans at all?
They said no bans. They wanted no bans.
All right, no bans it is. So just the Lyra. It looks like we're in it. Here we've got another Gwen.
Yeah, I think, though, this might just be over. I'm not entirely too sure about skill level, but based upon comp, Saw Adagio Pedal should be able to melt down anything that jumps their way.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I mean, depends on how this Koshka Gwen plays out as we get into this game. Adagio Saw. Oof.
Yep.
I think you're right. I mean, especially with a rhyme, right? Like, what is a rhyme going to do? He's got to get really close to you to put that fortified health, but you don't want to get close to a Saw. That's the last thing you want to do, so it's going to be really challenging. Except for the Gwen, it's really just all melee going into Adagio Saw. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to pull out a victory, but needless to say, I've been surprised before. Battle Royale is always unconventional in how these results end up working out, so we are going to just have to wait and see.
Looks like Polly's the one that drew the short straw, is going to be coming more of the Roan. Lone Delphi, though, is just able to heal up and buff this weapon saw. And again, double melee, I guess, because of the Gwen. But if you don't have a solid game plan going into this, you are going to get poked out with this triple range. And we got 2 sets of heals once we hit that level 6 there. And Wizard Sibs, all he has to do is just build weapon and push all day. That's all you got to do.
Oh man, the push is phenomenal. They are just not holding back at all. 1 minute in, the first turret's going to go down. They do take a kill for it, but they traded a kill. I mean, that's all you can ask for, is to trade a kill, take out a turret at 1 minute in a Battle Royale match. I mean, this is definitely working out for Arden so far.
Looking for the shank. We're going to get it there, but Sibs probably should have just cut his losses and went for the Koshka and gotten that extra distance. So he will drop, but he has a good amount of cash to spend. He's going to go straight into the Sorrow Blade. I'm rather surprised there's no lifesteal with the Barbed Needle this early on, or it's at the very least get yourself a book, because those last hits there from Sibs are going to start amounting here fairly soon. Now, the flip side, it is going to be Panda Malos. He is sort of going offensive, a little bit more supporty, I want to say. Same idea here with Merlin, has a little bit of crystal, but has some defense there as well. And, it's more the same for Tambe. I'm not entirely too sure if they're going to go really big damage numbers here.
Yeah, and I think the Sorrow Blade pickup was more so that he doesn't need the lifesteal because he's got an Adagio to back him up. So he feels like he can just move in. That being said, I mean, that extra lifesteal compounded would be nice to have. So, but he ultimately decides this is where he wants to go. Goes heavy and strong into that Sorrow Blade right off the bat, and they're pushing up onto the second turret.
Attention bow for our Gwen. Okay, but that's not really going to be enough to pierce through this veil, I don't think. Merlin going to get caught a little bit here. Here comes Tambe, and as long as Sibs is the last one to die, they should still win this one out. But nope, he's going to be the first one. They traded out 1 for 1, then 1 for 2. It's Lone Delphi now on the run. I think that Valkyrie actually did a lot of work for Panda Malos.
I mean, they're going back a little bit more frequently, so when they come into these fights, you do expect them occasionally to have a higher power spike. Again, it's going to be tough going into that Saw Adagio if that Saw gets buffed, but, this is something that, can definitely backfire if they don't play it out. Like you said, you really didn't want with Sibs to go down first. You really want to make sure that, when one of your members is higher in gold, that he goes down first. And otherwise, you can get caught in a bad situation like we're seeing Lone Delphi right now.
He's not that bad off, and Paulie coming into this does have that crown, a little bit more health. The first fountain there for the team was where you do have one there for Panda, but yeah, with Paulie sort of trying to do as much peel as he can here. It's not going to be the worst. He doesn't have anything to slow up anybody though. That's the downside here. He's still able to use that combustion pretty nicely, and Gwen going to be taking a big chunk of damage, and Sibs, it's almost like we never left this push.
Yeah, man, they are just not letting up. And again, they've done a great job. I mean, just maybe one slight misstep, but so far it's been flawless as they have continued to apply the pressure onto this Spectrum Pro. But right now, with that Saw going down, again, you really want to see Lone Delphi go down first. They're kind of not coordinating that correctly. They could easily use it as a bait. Koshka Captain Frenzy goes in hard, takes the kill. It's not going to be an ace, though. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Although at this point, any kind of trade like that really does go in favor of Ardent.
Polly won't have the damage to bring down Panda, but Panda doesn't really have the energy to chase down Polly. So a little bit of a stalemate in the mid here, Dragon. But overall, 2-for-2 trade by the end of it. But again, another turret down. This is actually looking pretty good here for Arden. They've been keeping up that pressure, and they got 4,000 gold advantage as well. We got that bone saw now figured out for Sibs. He's looking for an Aegis next, but on top of that, we might even see a Shivers steal. I'm going to be keeping my eye on that one. We do lose out the Gwen, and Panda's going to be on the run, but Ardent with the attacker's advantage, they're going to be able to push down fairly easily.
Oh, yeah, doing great work, going in hard on the Panda. And now, of course, the Rhyme's not very effective when he's running away. There's no fortified health there to stand by, and he's going to go down. Now it's on to the Koshka. Merlin trying to get away. Man, these Petal Minions are just so annoying. Keep chasing. They go in. There's the ultimate, almost taking them down with the dive jump. Trampoline right in there behind the crystal and picks up the kill. And at this point, it's looking very bleak for Spectrum Pro.
Tambay need to not focus that the fact that there's two people behind an invulnerable crystal. They got to focus on the fact that Wizard Sibs is just destroying their turrets, and it's not going to matter. Not at all. I mean, I called this back then at spawn. I'm pretty sure you can't beat this comp with double melee and a little bit more of a short-ranged carry like that. And none of them really went balls to the wall damage. They didn't have the burst early on to mitigate any pushes. They tried to go for some sustain, and they're just not going to match that between a Petal and an Adagio.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with that tied match, it's now we're going to be going to a game 3 here. As of course we did jump into this right at the game number 2. So Ardent tying it up. They've got a chance to get back into this tournament.
I got to restart my client because every time we break party.
All right, I'll wait a second to see. I might have to do the same as we come in.
I would just assume you have to do the same at this point. That's what I do at any rate. But yeah, that was just a really good spawn. Not having any bans, I gotta say, that's a little good. Like, you might get your dream comp, you might not, but that worked out very well for Ardent by all measures of success there.
Yeah, that's the kind of dream comp you want. And you know what? I want to bring it back to the fact that they chose Spectrum Pro, chose not to ban. And just think, if they had just put in a ban, any ban, they might have prevented that comp from existing. And instead, they, say, oh, we don't need the ban, and they maybe, depending on what they would have banned, gave Ardent the exact comp that they could have possibly hoped. Perfect comp. All right, so we're going to go into game number 3. Of course, tied up. And game number 3 is in Battle Royale. They are exciting because they're rare, because there's just not that many tournaments. But more importantly, to kind of make that kind of, I mean, that was a landslide. And so, you're going to have to imagine that Ardent's feeling pretty good about their chances. So rule of thumb, if you got the option to ban in Battle Royale forecourt, I think you take that option and ban something.
Well, the fastest games I've ever done in Battle Royale is definitely saw matches. You get a nice weapon saw, and if they go, especially if you don't have a lot of hard CC on the enemy side, it's almost basically your playground at that point. I mean, there's nothing to stop you up. You can get a reflex block for the slows. You got the dank shank there. And if they dive your opponents, or if they dive your friendlies, you're just going to tear them apart with that weapon. A lot of people like to go crystal, big numbers, it's flashy, but the fastest games I've ever had is definitely weapon saw.
They're fast. Maybe add a fin to that Adagio, and you really are taking it home. So, all right, we are getting shaped to go back into this game number 3 as these players get back into the match. I think a bunch of them had to kind of jump in and jump out, respectively. And we should be pretty close to moving in. And as we look at the bracket here real quick, again, just coming back to this bracket just because we hadn't had a chance to really look at it too much, as we kind of dived into these matches very quickly, which of course is definitely a positive. We're looking, and we of course did finish the TSM Cloud9, and so that match has concluded. And so now as we come down here, looking at this is going to decide. So my guess is that the matchup that we had with Gangstar, Sirius, and Ardent, that was just a tryout match, just a warm-up match. That,
well,
in actuality,
we definitely did Team Uranic yesterday, right?
Yes.
And they went up against Cheek Clappers.
Yes.
Which is not on this tournament bracket.
Right. So that's where I think we had a few miscues there. Everything seems to have sorted out. And so now we're having Ardent and Gangstars going up against each other. Potentially, right? If Gangstars wins against G-Clappers, it's going to be an Ardent Gangstars matchup, which is going to be pretty exciting to watch.
Can you put me with my team? No, Lone Delphi. We're playing all random teams here with this Battle Royale. That's the new rule that we just made up now.
Right. So actually, right after this match for court will be the Gangstar Sirius versus Cheek Clappers. So we'll be getting to that very shortly. Actually, it's supposed to start now, so we're a little bit behind. Obviously, game 3s are not something you get a lot of, so we're moving a little later into our timeline. But that's because... Fine. Oh, yeah?
No, that's fine. I mean, after this, we got 3 matches.
Yeah, we're moving along nice and smoothly.
If it takes 20 minutes each, we're here for another hour. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's an early day for us, all things considered.
It is. Not too bad. All right, so one more person to invite, and we're going to get this third game on
Oh, did I leave? No, I'm good. Okay, so there we go. We finally got the admins in Connect. We're asking if we're going to have some bans here in game number 3. Lone Delphi says no bans. So they're okay. And
Thig life.
other...
Apparently, when you don't ban, it's called a thig life.
Yeah, I saw that. Thig Loof. You swap the I, the U. Thig Loof. Okay, well, no bans means it looks like nobody has any issues. It will stick. This will be Spectrum Pro with Finn, Catherine, Vox. That can be quite the scary front line for that, Vox.
I mean, this is a lot more balanced, I think. I really like what I see coming out of Spectrum Pro. The Finn with the stun from the Catherine can really keep everybody kind of close, right? And that Vox can use his residence. I'm guessing he's going to go Crystal. Yep, I do see the Crystal Vox there. And I think that's the right call because, you know, his goal is to really let his team bring and hold the players very close to him, use that, wait for it, to really put all that residence on the enemy team and then start deleting them one by one. We'll see if it works out, though, Forecourt, as we get into this matchup.
Yeah, the Crystal Fin, if you do actually get a little bit of Crystal, goes a long way to augment, especially now that Quibbles are a little bit worse for wear, but at the same time, Vox, yeah, he has a good wall. To break down that wall is going to be Polly, Lone Delphi, and Sibs, and that's going to be a 1-2 punch of the Crystal Sky, very good at just target firing down those fins, as well as a little bit more of a weapon, Ringo. Now, it's up to Polly really which way he wants to go. So far, it's a little bit more support. Looks like he is going to be getting into a Crucible probably for the team. But for now, he's going to head back, spend about 1,000 gold or so.
Major aggression coming from Polly, of course, but it doesn't get too much out of it. It gets him pretty low, but look, Panda's able to stay alive, and they're trying to go. They're not going to get the ace. They're not going to pick up this Sky in time as Glaive is back up. But ultimately, nice push from them. Lone Delphi's just got to fend off these minion waves, make sure they don't take too much damage on the turret. Polly going in. He is super aggressive this game.
No, I like how Tambay actually took the aggro there, at least for a moment, but it does look like we actually do realize that Vox is dead to right, so now Tambay and Merlin, they're going to get some damage here on top of Polly, but the deaths from above, a little bit of a waste there from Lone Delphi, but still coming back into it. It is that Crucible first here from Polly, doesn't actually stop at the silence or the hook. I don't know why you have it then, but the stuns are good, the turret shots are good, and Sky is dead.
I really like Polly's decision to sit back there and just do damage on the turret and then, of course, go down. Because they had done some kills onto Ardent, and they knew that if they didn't get a kill themselves, they were going to start hitting a disadvantage in items. And so, good decision by Polly. Nice, actually, engagement there, that 3v3 in front of their turret. And now it looks like Spectrum Pros is in a good position here so far. The goal's even, but they've done a good job balancing it. And, of course, you look at that turret, they put a little bit of damage in, but they've definitely applied some nice pressure.
All right, so rinse, repeat, maybe just going to be waiting for this hook. At the same time, Panda's just going to be starting to get off some of those resonance bounces. So he has gone into the alternating current. He's ready to go. Merlin needs to die, has 4,000 or so to spend, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see an aftershock coming out of her in the next little bit. We'll have to see which way Tambay will go. Nearly 4,000 to spend himself. Polly is going to go in. He's looking for this advantage here on top of Merlin with that aftershock, but it's getting rather just torn apart. The silence to go through. Double silence and a stun combo with these guys, if you think about it here, Dragon. But it's not enough to take down a kill.
No, but he has to use the Crucible to stay alive for the residents, and therefore the pool forced Accord coming in and taking his teammates, and there's nothing he could do about it. And that is definitely a nice trade for Spectrum Pro there, to pick up those 2 kills only to their 1 death. Pauly's going to try to keep him at bay, but now with that Crystal Fin and the Vox, this turret is dead.
All right, we do got that crown there for Merlin. He did die, so he had about, 4,000 or 5,000 to spend. Still has another little bit, and he is going to be going into the aftershock. Tambay really looking to just kill himself here. Needs to go spend that cash. This should be the retreat from Panda, and I think he'll be. I think he'll be okay. I don't think they can catch up.
Yeah, I think it was the right call. Go in early, take the death, so that way you see Catherine's coming up. Actually, did Panda? No, I think he's just sitting back. He was probably thinking about something. But Polly going in a little too deep. I mean, I know he's sitting on 4,000 gold, but they should try to prioritize at least some damage on the turret. Objectives are so critical in Battle Royale, and instead he just goes in and takes the kill. And Panda, though, goes pretty low. Is Wiz Sibs going to go down?
Yeah, Merlin is going to get this kill. His damage reflect plus the little bit of crystal there for that merciless pursuit. It's going to be more than enough. Lone Delphi will clean it up, and it's going to be a 2v1 if he continues to push in. Tambay is back in town. Has those tier 3 boots. A lot more mobile now with that Finn. Has that Atlas and a fountain to boot. At the same time, Pauly has that fountain and the crucible there for his team with that storm guard, so he is the verified roam. And it's just lots of damage on Sibs, lots of damage here on top of Delphi. They just need to see if they can get themselves a win.
Now, at this point, Forecourt, you almost don't even want to worry about Panda, right? He's always got an alternating current. That's it. If you could just let him live and just focus on these objectives and take out the rest of his teammates, you can avoid a lot of that power spike you're going to see once he goes back. He's sitting on almost 6,000 gold.
Well, sure, if you can do that, then do that, but that's way more easier said than done, Dragon.
Yeah, but see, they're already kind of focusing on him. They need to stop. Instead, they're going to take him out. He's going to go down. Fountain does keep him alive long enough. Oh, this is a huge mistake as they're starting to... Oh, man, Ardent losing this team fight, and Panda's still alive. At some point, Panda just needs to KYS and take the kill for the team. He does finally go down, but that's not before Pauly's going to take one as well. This team fight clearly going in favor of Spectrum Pro. That's kind of fight they definitely wanted.
Constantly getting the 2-for-1s. This is looking good for Spectrum Pro to move on at this rate. You should be able to get some damage here on top of this turret. Just a little bit. I wouldn't expect it to go down, but at the same time, it's just that Sky. Very easily to avoid damage, and Merlin is no slouch when it comes to these, especially those quibbles. Look at that 500. Now, we do got Sibs back here as well, but Merlin and Tambay, they should be done with their offensive, but it's going to be the hook in. Merlin's just looking to bully out Sibs, and that's just going to be the stun murder combo.
It's just this Catherine Finn is doing so much work, and they haven't even gotten their Vox into play. Look what he picked up for Court. Broken Myth and Shatterglass plus a little bit more defense. This Vox is going to be hitting like a truck. And, it does kind of misplace that. Wait for it. Maybe getting a little too excited to get back into this fight. But needless to say, the cooldown's not that long. The next team fight they have, I really think it's going to be very difficult for Ardent to kind of win that fight. They're going to have to be very careful.
We have a hook. It's level 3. We're in a bush. And Ardents are not going to have any of it. They're just going to go all the way back until they can make sure that they can actually get 3 people to reform. No, you can't go buying, Pauly. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry.
So as we saw with the Cloud9 game, very nice call by Lone Delphi to wait, but it's just one, right? He's just the only one waiting. So that means Pauly and WizSibs are at the same disadvantage that the remaining Spectrum Pro is. So what's important about that is, although yes, Lone Delphi is going to be able to get maybe an extra tier 3 item. He's going to sit there. It's going to delay the game, which means if they do have a bad fight, it's going to really hurt. And again, this Vox at a really high power spike is going to be doing a lot of work. So let's see how this plays out as they go in for the engage.
Yeah, didn't actually get a Crucible out because we don't have one. Panda didn't use the Reflex there as well, but it's not a Crystal Ringo. So that the Hellfire Brood just kind of tickling them at this point. We have used Fountain now at this point, and that's also going to be some shields here from Tambay. Merlin going to go in, get some burst on top of that turret. Does go down for it, but they are not going to lose their lives. A kill for a kill and a turret. Merlin has 4,500 to go spend, but at this point, Tambay might actually want to just try to consider going in for the suicide because he has over 6,000 to spend.
Yeah, it's a shame he couldn't have gone in. Of course, all of Spectrum Pro was pretty high in gold, right? They'd been waiting there a little bit of a long time compared to, for instance, Lone Delphi. So definitely not a bad decision. Tambay, though, has got to be a little careful here. He doesn't want to give up a kill this early and therefore potentially a turret as they just kind of sit here and wait as Catherine's going to come back. Merlin's picked up Aftershock, Stormcrown, Fountain Renewal, so they've got 2 Fountains now. I think that's really important in this next team fight. We'll see how it plays out.
Now, it will be a 2v2, at least for now. Merlin is just kind of holding on to his cash for a little bit longer. And is he just waiting for an infusion? He's going to be there another little bit, but all right, fine. At the same time, we've actually moved out here from Ardent, so it is the 3-man pressure. Panda and Tambay should actually have this well in hand. If we do get a good hook, could actually be the very end of it all, but 460, 480, 494, Merlin! Come join us. There we go. He does get that infusion, and now That's going to be costly. That is going to be costly. Look at this. Panda gets hit by the Hellfire. We got Merlin and Tambay looking for the stuns. The blocks are going to be a little bit late. Wizard Sibs is down and out. They might have gotten the turret, but now it's up to Spectrum Pro to make him pay for it.
Yeah, this fight is going in favor of Spectrum Pro. They made a huge mistake there. Of course, Catherine was able to wait Merlin a lot longer, picking up that broken match. So she's going to be doing a little bit more damage. But they went in pretty hard on Panda, and they weren't able to pick up the kill, which is a huge mistake, because he's going to heal up pretty fast anyways. And, of course, he was able to get that wave for it, hit those Resonance bounces onto the rest of the team as well, because of how far Wizsibs went in. So, you know, kind of a misdirection. I mean, it's 11 seconds until he comes back, so it's not that long. Actually, Panda, he wants to go down. He knows he needs to take this kill quickly because he's, you know, with 2 seconds left till Wizsibs comes in, they're going to want to be putting pressure, and that's exactly right? They're going to be pushing as fast as they can down this lane. 41 seconds till Panda comes back. It's really likely you're going to lose a turret here if you're Spectrum. You don't want to risk any kills over a turret. The turret's fairly meaningless in the larger scheme of things. They've really got away. Oh, but Lone Delphi goes in way too deep. What was he? What? Forecourt.
6,000 gold to go spend.
Yeah, but this is it. So what's bad about this is he's 43 seconds until he gets back, where it's only 15 if Panda. If he was gonna die, he should probably have decided to go a little bit sooner.
Well, yes, but overall, I don't think really anything's going to come of it.
I think Spectrum could have taken advantage of it. I mean, you do see, of course, Finn going in. Wait, now Finn? Oh, Finn's going to go KYS now.
10,000 gold. Tambay off to march to war.
Forecourt, this is dangerous, though, because when you're down one person, it gives the enemy team the ability to just team up on the last two people and then, like, take a turret, take a kill without too much to worry about it. In that case, though, 6 seconds until Lone Delphi is in, but 43 seconds for Tambay to get back. That's a long time to rely on just Vox and Catherine.
Well, they're going to lose a turret, but I don't think they're going to lose the game. 10,000 gold going over to Tambay is absolutely huge. And we got 2 turrets still here before we even get down to the veins. So, yeah, Spectrum, yeah, sure, they're going to hurt a little bit here, but I don't think it's game over. I think there will be one last major fight going into this one here, Dragon. And for now, just got to keep our eyes on what comes through with the shopping. It is going to be double Shattered Glass on Finn. Oh, this is going to be delightful.
Well, as long as they gave it the turret, as long as they don't go down. Oh my goodness, Polly taking so much damage. They just can't go down. That's all they need to worry about. Wizsibs trying to go in there. He's doing a lot of hurt onto Panda, but he gets stunned up and he goes down. Oh boy, Ardent's looking like they're in a bad spot right now.
Yeah, as I said, they're hurt a little, but Dragon, now is the time that Ardent need to do full-on retreat. They got to get back all the way to that crystal, and they got to hope to dear heaven that they can survive without Sibs for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and so I think, you know what, it just to kind of, nice reflex block there to prevent that. I think that if Lone Delphi had died much sooner when he decided to go back and die, he would have been up sooner for them to actually 3-man push, would have prevented, for instance, Tambay from actually going and killing himself as well. So timing is really important. If you're going to do it, you want to do it right away, so that way you're not, you know, sitting there waiting for your team to get up. So, all right, 3-man push, 2 seconds till ring goes up. Is it going to matter?
700 quibbles say that, well, that's going to be it for that turret. We do got some fountains now ticking. Wizard Sibs is here. Panda's the target, but they can't take him down before the glaive is out. Now another big quibble coming through, but Tambay too low. Merlin not going to be able to deal with Lone Delphi there either, but not much that Delphi can do by himself. I don't think he can end the game. He might be able to take the turret, but that's a long way to cover.
All right, so Forecourt, you talked about how could a game go so long. Well, we're at 13 minutes, and yeah, Lone Delphi is not going to be able to do more than a turret, if even that. I mean, you already got 22 seconds.
This will be a 16-minute game.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll go past that.
I hope not, but it could, because of the playstyles are really comparable, and now as the itemizations really start to become meaningless, you're going to see both of these teams just, like, it's all about positioning. Like, Lone Delphi, fantastic positioning that fight. He was able to avoid a lot of damage, get in there, and right at the end, clean things up. And, you know, dodge. He doesn't have a lot of defense, so if he can dodge these quibbles, he'll be okay.
Panda just buying all of the all of the crystal infusions. I think he bought 7 crystal infusions there. He literally has nothing else to spend his money on. He's full build. We're full 6 items on a lot of these guys. And as I said, you might get that turret. Didn't actually end up rushing it
Nice
down.
silence.
Lone Delphi way too far forward. This could be the throw, and this could be Spectrum Pro moving on.
Oh, this is it. This is it for Spectrum. They silenced and then comboed the Quibble with it, so he couldn't block it. That was just absolutely phenomenal teamwork and synergy. Ringo, Wiz Sibs thinking he's going to go and try to do this. Honestly, I don't even think they should worry about it. There's no way Wiz Sibs can single-handedly take out 3 turrets by himself. So instead, it's going to be a 2v3. And you, of course, have got Sky Glaive trying to combo between the Panda and Tambay. But instead, I think it's just going to be a slower than normal GG as they 2v1 this plus the turret and go on the crystal here. And now look at that.
I don't think Merlin should have really paid any time of day there to the Ringo. You're right. He's not going to get through 3 turrets by the time these guys cleave through 1. And they don't even need the Merlin by the end of it all. So triple crystal yet again, raining a really good results here. Tambay and that Finn, though, double crystal by the end of it with those. Oh, man. Like, those quibbles are just nothing that you can compare to.
Yeah, congratulations, Spectrum Pro. They move on and they end Ardent Aurora's tournament run here.
Yeah.
As we start to move on and get ready for our next matchup, it's going to be Gangster Series versus Cheek Clappers. But yeah, just a little bit of homage to this. When you look at the builds, of course, triple CP, kind of right, except for that Storm Crown in there. It's almost all pure CP. I just think the Ringo wasn't doing enough damage. They really needed, with good positioning, to just be in the back line and just poke. It's kind of hard to do. They didn't have like anybody to really like an Arden or a Finn to give him that kind of support to keep him alive, that sustain. But yeah, it just ended up being unfortunate. And also the Catherine, the double silence with the Forced Accord and the Quibbles. Oh man, you get caught in one of those, it's gonna hurt.
I apparently can't spell the word problem in a hurry, but yeah, come on into the game here, Dragon. We got both of our teams here ready to go. Bans is going to be Kestrel and Samuel.
All right, getting back into this clan in just a few seconds. Should be good to go now. Send that invite, and we will jump in.
Yeah, BRC mod will get you. So, Cheek Clappers and Gangstars Serious. I don't even know where Team Uranic actually ended up on this chart, but we saw Uranic and Cheek Clappers play yesterday. Apparently that didn't matter. Spectrum Pro beat Uranic, according to the graphic here. Ardent Aurora now out by their hand, and they will take on the winners of this.
Yeah, I'll be moving right along here. So, Gangstar Serious.
Restart your client, dummy.
Oh, no, I already did. Just waiting for the invite there the second time. They got to refresh that sometimes. And we're in here, ready to get going. So, repeat those bans for me, please, if you don't.
Samuel Kestrel.
Samuel Kestrel. All right. I think we're ready to get started for court. And let's see how this works. Just so you guys are watching, if you may have been watching for the first time, is these are bans in Battle Royale. How does that work? Simply that it's in private, so you can exit a private match as often as you want. There's no timers. There's no... there's no negativity that comes from that, and essentially what happens is they have to keep exiting the match until nobody has the banned heroes are globally banned. So once all of the random heroes that are rolled are done, but they're not the banned heroes, we can then get into the match. So once
apparently those were the bans from game 1. This is game 2. Yep. So who's leading? Who won? I thought this was fresh. It is not fresh.
Oh, so into game number 2 here. Update that. I'm curious to who won then. We're going to have to get update from the teams on that.
I don't have an answer. Who won game 1? Yeah, that's a good question.
But we do have a ban. We do have a ban. Excelsior says us. So
Gangstars is up.
Gangstars. Okay. All right, they won game 1.
So Scarf is the first ban here for game number 2. And we need a GS ban.
Cheek Clapper or... Oh yeah, it was Batman that did the Scarf ban.
Samuel. Scarf and Samuel.
All right. First Scarf ban I think we've seen. going into these tournaments.
And we're good.
Nice. Right off the bat, guys, we jump in here. Again, it could take several iterations of jumping in and out of the match to get a hero comp pool with no banned heroes. In this case, nobody did the first round, so we're jumping right into it, and here we go. GankStars is up 1. They're, of course, on the B side to start off, and they've got, man, not gonna lie, I really like the GankStars comp, but Lyra Glaive, that's not a bad way to counter it. They can definitely harass that Saw a little bit easier. No Adagio, no heal on the side of GankStars to make him a little bit tankier.
Ha!
What do you think, Forecourt?
Lyra with 6 O-carts. Well, she's going very much support.
So she's, I think what Commander Rob's trying to do there is take advantage of her ability to, it kind of scales with health, that health ratio, so that her heal does scale with Crystal, but they kind of nerfed that a little bit and tried to put a little bit of emphasis on the health scale to make her more of a support role, and we're seeing that kind of play out right now.
Yep, you're pretty much on the money here, Dragon. So a little bit of weapon damage coming up for Blue Dawn. Batman, it has some crystal bits, so nothing really out of the ordinary there. Wrecked, a little bit more of a support. I want to say Excelsior, that's his name. Yeah, he's going to be going into that weapon and Old School into the crystal, but Wrecked has himself that Life Spring and a book. So for now, it's not quite weapon, but we'll have to see how he fleshes out.
I really think if one advantage were to be decided here, it would be just the fact that Old School's on Celeste. He's one of the best Celeste in the game. I mean, he's phenomenal. So putting him on a comfort pick like that in a battle royale, in a lane, which is his position, is just kind of perfect. And you have to imagine GankStars just chuckling a little bit, saying, what are the odds as they start to put pressure. So that's definitely something nice. Wrecked, of course, on the Saw. A little bit different for him, but again, Saw's just got to keep applying pressure and pushing. But this is what we're talking about, is that nice back push into a turret range to take out Wreck there. This is where Glaive can be very effective.
If we get ourselves a Crucible and he himself gets an Aegis, that kind of threat will definitely go away. For now, though, Excelsior trying to get into the back, does jump on top of Commander Rob, but it's not going to be a Crystal Alpha, right? So that termination protocol of his, not exactly going to be the end-all when it comes to that blow-up potential. He does have some pretty good harass ability, but against a Lyra, you really need something to put her down.
Yeah, with Wrecked going weapon a little bit, oh no, Solar Storm goes into the fray there, but with Wrecked going a little bit of weapon, I kind of feel like he's just going to struggle in the late game. Now, of course, he could probably switch it if he wants to, but, you know, you're right. He's got to build, I don't see any reflex blocks yet, actually. Might have been a mistake, as we're going to definitely see them want to utilize Lyra and Glaive to kind of bring out that Saw, kind of put him in a bad position, take him out quickly.
Now, Glaive did die, went into the tension bow. Wrecked, of course, finished off the fountain for the team. But if you're going to have this Saw, especially if you have somebody with like Celeste to go with it, I would really just go balls to the wall weapon damage, personally. But now you can see the Mad Cannon shots doing some work, but Commander Rob able to heal it up a good bit. Suppressing fire can bring Blue Dawn down a bit lower. A lot of the fight, though, is in favor of GankStars. They are continuously pressuring this turret, and the turret is starting to really look a little bit worse for wear here, Dragon.
Yeah, they're going pretty strong, and they're doing a lot of damage in the process. Rex is able to stay alive. You do see the reflex block being used just to stay in the game here. But, of course, they do pick up a kill. Excelsior does go in through the portal. A little bit tricky. Old School coming in. He's still full health. Oh, but he does get knocked back. The turret damage is going to help finish him off here. As Commander Rob just tries to stay alive. Batman doing a nice job staying at full health. And this fight up goes in favor of Cheek Clappers.
Yeah, not really a lot of pressure on top of Batman, but he's about to go spend his cash as he's going right behind two turrets. Commander Rob, I think, will go a little bit staggered to it and really wants to make sure he can take down the turret. I think at this point, though, it's more important to go shop rather than pick up that turret and not give away anything. Wrecked is going to be here for the defense. He's going to pick up this cash, and I mean, Commander Rob will have some spending, but this will be free push for GankStars.
Yeah, free push. You got Blue Dawn there. He's going to probably be able to just clear some of the minions from preventing this next turret from going down.
I'm selling every single heart.
Interesting. And now he's going Crystal. That's an interesting. So early game with the health and then just dumping it all for Crystal. It's a little risky, but let's see if it plays out as he's going to have a nice power spike here in the late game with that CP.
It's also going to be something of a surprise for Gangstars, especially since you can't see item builds until they've shown themselves, right? So they saw 6 health. They're like, oh, it's going to be a support. Now he's just going to come back and start doing some big damage. But he gets stunned up. You can see Wreck laying into him there. And that's going to be a little bit of a mistake. Commander Rob, without that health, is a little bit more of a glass cannon.
Yeah, so the surprise backfired, I think, as Gangstars
picks up double shield.
Definitely backfired. I think he maybe pulled the surprise out too soon. You need a little bit more gold to pull that off, where he could be a little bit more tanky as he goes with the CP. Oh, at this point, Gangstar's looking like they're going to close this up quickly now.
Well, right now they should get as much damage on top of the turrets as they can. They're far too deep to kind of kite this one out. Just get the turret damage and get home. But they are looking for the fight. And with everybody bunched up, I mean, it's not actually a bad way to go. Gold Skull, though, however, will drop. Excelsior still alive. Does he have that ult? 30 seconds. So he does not have a second life. Blue Dawn going to be taking advantage of this and bringing him down eventually. But I still think they should have went for the turret. I mean, it was still early enough in the game that they could have easily come back to defend, their crystal.
And they got a lot out of it, though, for Cord. I don't think that they are too worried. I mean, Blue Dawn's not going to be able to do a whole lot. Maybe take a turret here with these minions pushing up with him. But by the time Sock gets back out here, and he should be able to clear that, he'll save definitely that last lane turret. So I think at the end of the day, they just didn't feel like it was a big deal either way. They feel like they're probably going to come back in and finish this game off pretty quick.
Well, Blue Dawn versus Wrecked. It's not really a lot of damage here from Wrecked. He does have the Aftershock, not what you would expect, but on top of that crown, the tier 3 boots, and the fountain, they don't actually keep that turret up. So it is going to be dead and dusted here. 4,000 gold says Gangstars has a lot of pushing power, and Commander Rob very dutifully standing guard near that last turret.
So if they didn't even have a turret, this would be an easy push for the victory. I do like the fact that Batman kind of waited in there a little bit longer. This is still going to be very challenging, though. I'm not sure they're going to have enough time. 9 seconds. This turret's going to go down right away.
Yeah, no doubt. There it is. In 3 seconds, 2 seconds, you got to stop this Saw, man. It's not about Excelsior. He has that second life. And even if they take out the rest of the Gangstars, Excelsior can just finish up the crystal. But again, you go Saw, man. It's all about the push Saw comps. If you get a Saw and he's not banned out, it's very close to game over.
Well, that was fast. As we're moving through these matches pretty quickly, Gangstars picking up a quick 2-0 over Cheek Clappers as they move on to the next round.
GG! That's amazing. So, I want to know, are we going to stream Team Vape Nation? Because I hear they've just been smoking their competition.
I don't know what they've been smoking, but maybe their competition. I haven't been able to see any of those matchups, but it looks like after this, we're going to be moving to, I think it's Los Frijoleros versus Hammers Kinetic. That is scheduled for, of course, the 6 p.m. Pacific, which we're almost, a little bit past that, but not too far as we get into this 4th matchup for today. So we're moving nice and swiftly here. So if they're ready to go, and it looks like we might be, we're going to be getting into that. And yes, wow. Sure enough, got to hand Make It Shine some credit here as he has been moving very fast with these matches.
I did not realize Hammers Kinetic was in this game. I'm looking at it here in the brackets, but I guess that didn't connect.
So Velocity did lose. They, of course, fell. But Kinetic is still in this matchup. So the question is this game 1 or is this game 2? We need to get that probably answered.
Yeah, we've been jumping into
This is game 1.
And who's their enemy team?
Los Frijoleros. I don't know how to pronounce it.
The Los Frijoleros.
It's I believe it's Frijoleros.
Frijoleros.
So,
Frijoleros.
A side going to be in. And what were the bands again? I did just miss
I don't know.
those.
I wasn't looking.
Fortress and Kestrel were the bands.
Fortress and Kestrel.
The
Well,
names
we don't
too
have
open.
either of those.
The
Yeah.
names are too exciting to pronounce to worry
Well,
about
an
that.
actual real comp here for Los Frijoleros. It's going to be Vox Adagio
Frijoleros.
Catherine up against the Petal Sky Celeste. Triple range up against something of a fortified comp here. Not entirely too sure which way this will go, but if we do stock up very nicely on the crystal power here from Kinetic, we might be able to punch through.
They might. I mean, I do like to see the Adagio with the Vox. Is it going to be a weapon Vox? Yeah, I mean, I think Crystal's
Crystal.
fine too. Yep, and that's not I
Double
don't
crystal.
I actually don't mind that. I think the self healing and self inflicting adagio is really a lot of fun to watch as well. So I'm not too worried about that. But the Vox, the resonance are timed up really nicely. I do want to see the double silence kind of work together, as that can be really deadly going into heroes like Sky and Celeste that need those abilities up a lot.
I'm a little surprised Call the Mink didn't go into energy regen. He actually went fairly defensive, only a little bit of crystal, whereas Mixi just went all crystal out here for the Sky. Suijay, a little bit more of that roam life. He's going to be going into that fountain as quick as he can. Same here with recoils, but I really expected that Catherine to kind of go into the tanky support role. We'll have to see if an Aftershock will come out later on. But past that, I just really want to see Catherine tank up and be a nuisance here to Hammer's Kinetic.
Yeah.
Oh, did I lose Dragon?
No, I'm here.
Dragon.
No, I'm back. Trying to get a sip of water in as quickly as possible. And right now, Hammer's Kinetic, they are putting a nice amount of pressure on. You look at Frijoleros, as they are pretty weak here. They're looking a little bit shabby, a little bit worn out here, and they need to be careful.
I'm being told it's pronounced Frijoleros.
Hileros. I was pretty close. Close.
I mean, I'd like to take some credit for being close as well, but
pronouncing
it's also
NJ.
not my language. The Beaners, apparently, is the translation. I like Los Frijoleros better. It sounds more mysterious, more sexy. Dead is the other word that comes.
Oh, the double scout trap! What? I mean, who places double scout traps, let alone it working as intended? I mean, that's just bad luck for...
You never know until it works, man. You never know until somebody tries it. Recoil's going to be looking for a stun, needs to get those stacks going. At the same time, it needs to be right up there in the face so you can get that gift of fire from King Lega. But for now, it will be 2-1. Kinetic will maintain their... advantage, so to speak, I guess. I mean, the only death was on top of Cole, and now, sorry, not Cole, on top of Mixi. It's Cole actually dropping down so low, doesn't burn to death. It's going to be a Shatter Glass coming forth here for the Sky.
Solar Storm coming out, doesn't connect though, but the Suijay Sky, the Petal actually, my apologies, does do a great job taking out that Vox. And, Celeste going down. Well, that kind of happened faster than I thought.
I think it was another scout trap.
Oh my!
Catherine that got the kill.
I gotta say, I normally curse scout traps being used, mostly because I find it super ineffective. But this time, Frijoleros is doing a great job with them, and they've been very effective with these scout traps.
Frijoleros. I love saying it. It's great. 3 and 2 for the kill counts. We do got that Crystal Vox here pretty fleshed out. Still need King Lega to go die somewhere, preferably in a blaze of glory. But he has 4,000 gold to spend. Recoils, not quite has that Crucible, but he is tanking up his Forsaken Boots because of all that. But look at the damage. The verse, not really going to hit the mark. I think it actually chunked out Suijay a little bit, but Frijoleros got to really retreat here.
Yeah, they're backing up here, although Mixi's kind of low. He's got to be careful. There's a little bit of, you don't want to get caught out with a nice stun and then, of course, wait for it to follow up. But as they sit here and start pushing this lane, they're getting a little bit more health, and now they're going to be able to push up, try to take out this turret. Oh, but the wait for it lands. Those resonance bounces are hurting. Oh, wow. I mean, almost, dude, forecourt, that could have been devastating for Hammer's Kinetic.
This could actually still go over to the Frijoleros. If we get a nice stun there from Citello and then into a resonance, or the other way around, recoils for the stun, resonance from Citello, it could have actually still been their advantage. Recoils, though, he's going to go in, needs to get that Storm Guard up, but he doesn't have the energy. Otherwise, you probably might have seen Mixi go down. It's now just going to be Recoils killing himself. Citello, though, trying to take the kills. Has nothing to bounce the resonance off of.
Now, let me ask you this, forecourt. What's the purpose of just going into the turret when you could instead just sit by a hero and auto-attack? Like, it's got to be strategically more efficient to just sit and auto-attack a hero or attack the turret than to just walk into it.
Recoils was low health, no energy, and he was basically dead to rights anyways.
No, he was dead to rights.
He wanted to get it over with and get back to the lane as soon as possible, especially with Kinetic not pushing.
I just feel like it'd be nice just to see a little bit of damage, because look how low.
Sometimes it's just better just to get the respawn timer rolling, man.
Maybe. Alright, so with that, of course, it is a 2v2 right now, although we see Catherine and Mixshe's guy coming back into this fight here. A little bit of damage on this turret thanks to those minions, doing actually a surprising amount of work.
And hero killed, doing enough work that they're able to pick up one. Recoils, though, is not even going to die. That's going to be the second picked up there from Lega. They should be able to pick up now the turret, and Suijay, did Suijay actually get the kill? No, it was credited over to Celeste. Celeste, with that kill money, picks him up Broken Myth, and Suijay is still going to hold the defense. I don't think we can really push too much harder here.
Nah, Recoils and King Lega, they doing a nice job actually to kind of focus on that turret. We actually saw the Vox, he was going to kind of disengage from the turret and then decide, you know what, I'm just going to continue taking these turret shots. I want to go down anyways. Actually, there was a brilliant idea as he was able to finish it off.
All right, Suijay has basically, again, gone into that roam life. He has the Fountain Crucible. Is going into the Shiver Steel. Very useful kind of item there for Petal. And King Lega, he's still sitting on 4,000 gold. Did not take any opportunity to kill himself there at all. But with this turret still standing, it's going to be up to the Free Hilaris to keep this team going. Recoils in the front, trying to be that annoyance, just trying to reflect everything. Can't do much up against the Sky, however. But Coldamik already down low. Double crystal between the Adagio and that Vox. They've been doing some work. We got every button available here to Recoils. Has that Fountain, has the Crucible, and we're about to have that Silence. So the Silence should start things off. Look for Recoils to get this party going.
Oh, but not if you're going to let them go down. Wow, Solar Storm. He has to use the Fountain, right? Yeah, he did because, man, that was a nice forward barrage by Mixshe, followed up by Coldamik Solar Storm there, forecourt.
Well, yeah, Recoil is not able to get in doesn't means that the offensive is not going to happen. This is actually all for Kinetic right now. They're hammering away the turret. They're hammering away those kills. They've already used out the Fountain. We still have a Fountain here from Kinetic. I think this might be a little bit of a mistake, but the verse does catch one. There's the Resonance Bounces doing the second, and Suijay crew just kind of fell apart there.
Yeah, and I expect to see Recoil is kind of going all the way here. Actually, he decides to disengage. He's sitting on 4,000 gold, though, so it wouldn't be horrible for him to go down. I think they want that ace. I mean, it's a shame they couldn't pick it up there, as the rest of the team does focus on clearing out these minions. But Suijay is by himself. It's going to be a pretty tough position if he's going to try to salvage this turret. It looks like ultimately he chooses not to, and I think that's the right call. Not worth the death.
Now might be a good time to just a suicide, boys. You've cleaned out 3 turrets. You got 6,000 gold on some cases, 4,000 there for Sotelo. Get as much damage in as you can and get those deaths rolling. If they take out Suijay, fine, that's cool. Double kill, but Recoils can't actually get the triple, and ultimately no real damage done by the end of all that. I really think, again, rushing down those turrets, sacrificing yourself for the chip damage would have been a little better, because now it's going to be 3 straight heroes coming for your turrets, and I think you're going to lose out at least 2 here.
Yeah, you might lose all 3. As they got a few seconds until they get back in here. 15, there's a lot of push potential here with this Celeste, Sky, and Petal. Yeah, they're going to get the 3rd turret for sure. Not going to be able to push into this Sanctuary too much because, of course, we're going to see Adagio and Vox. They're popping out right now.
Yeah. If they lose the team fight, though, with Kinetic this close, that's going to be game.
Yeah, so we'll see. Oh, but Mixshe's going down. I think Mixshe realized he just wants to go in, take that turret damage, and go down quickly. Coldamik, nice block, but he's going to take the weight for it. And the resonances, a couple more go in. Yep, there it is. Oh, nice. Holy, wow. Cole
just immediately just murders out his opponent there. But now it's Recoils and Suijay. Suijay, of all of them, are the ones that needed to get the shopping spree done. He has nearly 8,000 gold by himself. Will go down eventually, the staggered deaths. But now we got 2 here from the Free Hilaris to push. And they might actually be able to clear up both turrets.
Yeah, they're going to get some work done. 10 seconds. I think they're able to definitely take out these turrets. Nice Verse of Judgment in between the 2. Wow, 900 damage apiece. That's efficiency. And now they're working right on the crystal. Sky's going to come in really strong. Does he have enough?
Matter. No, that's going to be a game. They don't have to walk into that whatsoever. And as long as somebody body tanks, the crystal can only hit 1 target at a time, really. So, really nice pickup there from the Free Hilaris. Mixshe just kind of pushed in a little bit too deep. Take the 3 turrets and run away. In fact, just take the 2 turrets and run away. I didn't expect really them to go farther than that, but Kinetic overextending, paying for it with them their lives there. just not able to die in time. Dies only twice this game.
Yeah, that's really critical. Sometimes not dying enough can be a problem, and we saw how much gold he was sitting on, making it very difficult for him to be as effective as he'd like. Of course, you look at that comp. I mean, a lot of defense. He was kind of playing the support role, and he did have a lot of items defensively, but you probably would have liked to see maybe an infusion or at least one offensive item in the mix there as we rolled along. All right, so one game is in the bag for FreeHolaris, and now we're going to look and see if Hammers can kind of come back from that. I think that the drafts were pretty even. I did think there was a slight edge to FreeHolaris, but we'll see as we go into the next one what the bans are and what we've got. It looks like we've got the Kestrel Fortress ban again.
Kestrel and Fortress, but neither are here, so let's get this going. Go grab a beer.
Yep, well, it looks like that was a nice, easy jump in then for these teams. Fantastic as we get in and move right in to...
I mean, that's what I do when I
2.
play Battle Royale.
Grab
Get into the game, grab a beer. No problem. We're in it, boys. So, you know, last round, it was the Vox front wall there with that Adagio. Did actually really well. Now the FreeHolaris, they got themselves Rona, Taka, Samuel. You know, it's a funny thing. You don't ban out Samuel, and then he shows up in your game. But we got Lyra on the other side there with Lance and Rhyme. I think we could have a very potent death squad here for Kinetic.
Yeah, I really like what they've got here. The only probably challenging hero to address will be the Samuel. I think that as far as handling the Taka, I don't think that's going to be a problem. The Rhyme, comboed up with like a nice Impale, would be able to do a nice, great job kind of locking down that Taka. But the Samuel is going to be able to do a lot of damage. Of course, this update, we've seen a nice small nerfs into Samuel to kind of bring that kid down. Wow, nice Githian wall forecourt.
Yeah, so what? A few things behind my comment on, you know, a nice solid kill comp here. We got roots, stuns, and repositions from Call the Meek. We got slows, and the big thing is the bulwark, especially if you put Rona and Taka in that bulwark. They can't leap out, they can't jump in, they can't do anything really. And as you see here, they are just getting absolutely cleaned up. Mixie at the same time, you catch those guys, you can then just immediately Winter Spire them, no problem. You got Valkyries for days, portals for engages. I'm not entirely too sure we're really equipped for this because Taka wants to get in, get out, get the kill. That's going to get countered out by the Lyra. The nature of Mixie and the fortified health there as well means that he's not a squishy target. So there's no real target here for King Lega. Recoils is about to drop again. Citello on this Rona needs to tank up, but he's all offensive, and he's not going to outlast this comp. So, again, I really do think that Kinetic might just have this one in the bag.
Yeah, but one thing I will say is the Rona's potential will improve once he gets level 6. At least that red mist can be really kind of tough to handle. But I think that you're right. The comp that Hammers Kinetic has is going to be fine. You know, they don't have a stun, which would be, I think, a perfect, like, kind of a finale to this comp. Oh, the sleep does land on to Mixie there. He, of course, is going to go down. Sweet Generators and Color going to stay alive. Actually, it's not a big deal that he went down. It almost is probably preferred.
Yeah, they didn't move out of it for a reason. Call the Meek did because he wanted to get at least a kill with it, but they got the turret down to half. They basically camped it as well, picked up as many kills as they could. 5 and 1 means that now Rhyme is going to come back just a little bit stronger, has himself that Eve of Harvest, so it's really good that he picks that up as quick as he can. Has a little bit of Pierce there as well for the little bit of shield that the opposite side has.
Nice root, does lock in 2 heroes. The red mist comes out, but Githia Wall throws that back, and wow, nice double kill. That was a little bit surprising that they were able to pull that off so quickly, but again, nice. Starting off with a good Impale is always going to help.
Apparently the team names are on the wrong side. Did you flip them?
That would be, I naturally, you know
yeah,
what?
I know you do.
Yeah, I assume that the teams are going to be flipped because that should be what happens, but that's not what happens.
It's Battle Royale. It's not like there's an advantage either way. The only reason that they flip is because of picks and bans. We don't really have that here. So that's the big difference. Again, just looking at the comp, though, I mean, Kinetic, they're going to be going in super deep. As long as they get the turret, I mean, they can basically get aced for all they really care for at this point. But Mixie, with that sustained, the fortified health, it's just not meant to be, man. Like, he is just going to be walking right into you, and there's no kill potential here. Absolutely none. We're now looking at ace-buffed minions on the turrets, and the turrets are going down. This could be a sub 5-minute game.
Man, Hammers finally being able to show what they could do here when they get the right hero comps. I mean, completely different than what we saw in the last game. Of course, that game went really late. But yeah, sub 5-minute battle royale. I mean, almost sub 4-minute. Oh, nope, it's not going to be. I don't think they're going to be able to finish this off in time.
No, Cole's not going to have the damage. He is going to distract them around a little bit. But still, I mean, like, we're down to the wire now. If Spectrum... Is it Spectrum? No, it's Free Hilaros. If the Free Hilaros can't get their bearings in this next team fight, then they're going to be in trouble. And right now, there's absolutely zero pressure. Kinetic can basically just stay in their base as long as they want, pick up as many items as they want, and then move out. And they are already going to have, that rolling momentum. They might lose 3 turrets before they do it, but like I don't think you can lose this last end fight game. Cole the Meek just picked up double Sorrow Blade, for example.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know what? Not finishing out the game there, it could backfire. The first turret's going to go down. The gold swing's going to start moving back in favor of Free Hilaris. Well, not if you go down like this.
Game's over now. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, I legged out.
Well, nothing to see. This is it. They're racing to the turret. This is going to be a quick pickup for Hammer's Connect. And now we've got another game 3 here for Court.
On my device, they were sort of just staring down each other. Oh, it's too funny. But yeah, it's sometimes you can really spot out a power comp like this. And Lance with Lyra and Rhyme, especially up against really... no real range sustained damage. It was all about that Samuel. And no real defensive techniques, especially up against these engages. Yeah, as I said, this was over by draft.
Unfortunately so, and they played it well too. I mean, if you don't take advantage of that aggressive comp, of the kind of positioning that you can get from this, from those impales and roots. Again, like you said, a lot of roots. You got to get kind of up in the face. You got to be a little aggressive. I think Hammer's Connect played it perfectly. Really good job by them and took advantage of it. Again, 5-minute game was so close to a sub 4-minute game. Didn't quite happen, as we are moving to a game number 3 here, everybody. As we are probably going to get jumping into that in just a few seconds.
Yeah, Fortress is out. I think Kestrel's the other one, right? Fortress Kestrel?
I do see Fort again. Is that Kestrel? And now Make a Chance saying he's now going to switch sides. Good to know.
Going up, Kestrel. Yeah. So it's going to be Fortress Kestrel once more. Kinetic on left. It's going to be Free Hilaris on the right. And there's a Kestrel in the game. My device doesn't know what's going on. There we go. No Fortress, no Kestrel. We're good. Ozo makes an appearance. This is a very similar comp. Hammer's Kinetic get 2 out of 3, but they don't have a Lyra, and that's a big factor.
It is, but they also don't have to deal with Ataka, although they do have to deal with a Kashka, so the Lyra would have been nice to kind of counter that. They're not going to get that advantage, and of course they got a Finn to deal with. I think the one thing they do have that's nice for Court is that they've got a Bangarang, and it's got advantages, although I don't think they have the same power, especially going into a Finn.
So, Dragon.
Yes?
We have a 6 melee game.
Holy smokes, we do. I mean...
So, guess what just happened to Rhyme?
Okay, so Rhyme's good. Lance is good, but so is Kashka. So is Finn, right? So all of these heroes like melee fights. So there's going to be a lot of fights. There's going to be a lot of damage and a lot of blood spewed if there was blood in VainGlory, which there's not.
If I had to wager here, it's going to be a pure Crystal Finn. I don't think he needs to do any defense at this point. Just go pure Crystal, maybe like an Aegis by the end of it there, but just hit those quibbles. That's all you got to do. It's going to be the best tool that they have, especially after level 8, to bringing down Kinetic, because that's the only real stun in the game.
You know what? I agree. They definitely need to utilize that. Right now, Kinetic's doing a great job, though. Koldamik on this Lance is having no problem. And, you see how quickly they're already falling. It's early, though, for Court. And they could definitely turn this back around. But the pressure coming out from Hammers is looking good so far.
Make sure you're looking for an Aftershock. Might just want to go straight into something like a Shattered Glass instead. But Sotelo is going to be the only one still standing here from the Free Hilaris. But Suijay, now he's going to have to deal with King Lega. Doesn't actually go down yet, but King Lega is going to have that move speed. Suijay's not and can't get that shield up fast enough. Cole the Meek, the only survivor. But ultimately, I think just throw all pretenses to the win, just go full out offense on every single character. I think that's the best shot you got at winning this game.
we do see a Crystal Ozo, and he's picking up the Aftershock first. It definitely gives him the burst, in which he's definitely going to like, but I really like seeing an Ozo go in and really focus on, if he's going to go Crystal, just with a lot of CP. But again, we'll see how it works out. Aftershock's going to make his quick in and out abilities pay off a little bit. As you see him go in, nice little amount of damage, going in on the Alpha. Oh, but that pool!
And it's doing work there. Mixi is going to get as much damage as he can, and then the fountain to come out there. So Mixi will survive the one fountain in the game so far. Going to be doing a lot of work. The Crystal here on top of the Alpha could be the thing to change it, but it only lands on top of one. Now going even under the turrets. It's not enough to bring down the Alpha. Suijay will live through it. And again, the one fountain, I think, is a cool idea here, but we're going to need one now to reply here from the Frigelaris. But past that, all damage all the time. Once we hit level 8, it's all going to be on Sotelo to make these quibbles hit.
Yeah, I totally agree. Of course, that fountain by Hammer's Kinetic was... it was literally right before we saw Cole go down, and if it had been a second later, he would have died. Of course, getting that max... Oh, Bangarang, really nice, pushing Koshka out. He does go down.
How did Cole miss that impale? That's rather strange, but you can see how dangerous and bloody that these brawls get with everybody in melee range. We got some of that crystal, forming up on basically everybody. We only got one weapon really going for us here, and that's Cole the Meek. But 2 turrets up and 2 turrets down. Kinetic moving forward, but here comes the response. The double quibble to come through, looking for the crystal and the pull in there as well. That's going to be it for the monkeys. Suijay not likely long for this world anymore. He is down. Cole the Meek will go spend his 5k here soon enough. He can't actually get farther into that corner.
He got pretty far, though. He went as far as he possibly could. He knew it was over. And basically, at that point, it was just trying to basically make the enemy team spend as much time away from their turret as possible. Which, mission accomplished, for at least as long as he could. But this turret is going to go down very quickly.
I'm surprised Suijay didn't prioritize Eve. He went into the Broken Myth instead. That was his priority. 1 turret down, looking for the second. Might get it, might not. No, it does look like they're just going to let Alpha go kill herself. 2,000 or so gold for recoils there, and everyone else now backing up. A long way to back up, though. All the way back to the choke point is where Free Hilaris is going to have to make their stand. But we also got that Sorrow Blade and an infusion here for Cole. He's going to hold on to it until the action does start. But you can also see with so much crystal down, there's a lot of emphasis on Fountain and Aegis going forward.
Yeah, Sweet Daenerys was stationary there for quite a while.
He's fine. He's moving. And that's a hook. That's a 2-man hook. Look at that quibble coming down. Doesn't actually do as much as it could, but Suijay is the big target. He's under this turret, and he's not going to last. Now we're looking for the explode here from recoils. He is going to connect it on top of Mixi. Mixi, though, picks up 1. He's not going to be able to pick up recoils, though. The Finn is done, and now Mixi, it looks like he is going to lose out his duel. Recoils needs to get back to this turret. Cole the Meek, though, is just going to bully him around. We got no armor on top of that Alpha.
Could do it if he could land that at pit. Oh my goodness, Cole. Dude, that is a lot of damage, and he did work. Dude, he single-handedly saved his team this match so far, is because if they had gone aced with 2 of Los Frigileros up, it could have been another turret. So he's definitely keeping his team here in the running, as Kinetic wants to close out this best of 3 with a victory.
They're definitely pushing, and they're definitely edging out a little bit. When it comes to the money, they're definitely ahead there as well. Finn, not entirely too sure that he's going to be hitting the numbers that he needs to. Does not have a Broken Myth, only a Shattered Glass, now into a Clockwork. And amplifying the crystal power is a cool idea, but it's all about the cooldown now for Sotelo. Unfortunately, though, if he dies one more time, I'm not entirely too sure he's going to be able to reap any kind of benefit out of it. Might have wanted to see a Broken Myth instead.
Maybe, unless he's just going right for 1 quibble and then backing out. So one of the things, of course, with the Broken Myth is you got to get the stacks. If you're just going in, dropping a quibble and backing out, you're not going to build a lot of stacks. But then, of course, you should... Pierce. But yeah, exactly. You should want to be engaging... Oh, what? Did he just accidentally pull the Forced Accord there? Big mistake. Short cooldown, though, so it's not going to be a game changer. 9 seconds or 8 seconds, I suppose. But you know what? You're right. The Broken Myth, of course, got that pierced, and you know you're going to be attacking them. You're going to do a quibble and still be alive probably for that second quibble for Corp. So you're right. He's probably, especially if he has to use another quibble, going to be doing a lot more damage that second time.
All right, gonna be looking for the combo here. We do got the engage recoils. Does actually get 3 with that engage of his own, but now again, if he wants to look for that ult, he's gonna have to find it here fairly soon. The Finn is already dead in the water. The quibbles are just not really doing the damage that he might have thought. Recoils gets pushed away. That's going to be the ace, and Kinetic are going to be a 2-0, despite the fact that you know, ace is just ace to ace to ace. Kinetic not really, you know, having much to worry about.
Yeah, they're going to pull this victory, and they're going to move on, although Free Hilarious did a great job, you know, pulling out one game, but it is ultimately going to Hammers. Hammers gets the win, and GG to them.
2-0, man. Okay, so we're almost to our top 4. We got a few games left here in top 8, but not entirely too sure we're going to get to cover them.
We might be able to get one matchup in here, so we'll take a quick look at where we're at here as we check in with our mods. But you know, just looking at this game real quick, yeah, I think missed opportunity by the Finn early on. The cooldown reduction, I understand, but I don't think he needed that much more. And he really should have, like you said, taken a little bit of that, maybe not bought the health, maybe not had gotten that extra chronograph, and just gotten that Broken Myth. Would have been probably better served. Anyways, a loss is a loss, a win's a win. Hammers moves on.
Kinetic versus Parallel, I think, is going to be our last matchup here on stream, but we will have top 4 by, I want to say Sunday. I think Sunday is the finals. Sunday or Monday?
Yeah, one of those two. I will say this, though. We are going to take a quick break here. A quick 5-minute break as we, the casters, get ready for this next matchup, and also make sure everyone can get into place right away. When we return, though, we'll be getting you guys that last matchup for today. And, of course, the tournament goes on. The championship does take place. It's going to be actually the 21st. So next week, you guys are going to come in and again watch the semis and the finals take place. You're not going to want to miss it right here live on EnForcerz on Twitch and Mobcrush. But we're going to take a quick break, and I will be back. everybody? 5-minute breaks up. We are back. Forcord and I are refreshed. And we've got the next matchup. It's going to be Team Parallel versus Hammers Kinetic. Hammers Kinetic, of course, we just watched that. They won. They move on to the next round. And this is it. Going up against Team Parallel. This is going to be the round of... the round of 8 as we get into this. And so the first ban, it does appear that the first ban is Lance. It looks like watching that Lance play by Coldamik was not something they wanted to go up against.
I'm not entirely too sure that was the reason, but Lance has actually had some really good runs so far here throughout the tournament. And I mean, it's not unexpected, but at the same time, it's really anybody's ban. It's really whoever you just don't want to go up against.
Correct, and Lance is it. We are waiting, though, for the third person to get in for Team Parallel. As we're waiting, they're saying kick CTF, pull CTF in. I don't know what's going on. They're saying to put in. They're saying to invite Jesus. But I'm being told that Jesus is
unavailable.
Someone's Smurf account.
Well, as long as it's on the roster, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, it's Jesus Christ, but all the letters are numbers. I see how they did that. A little witty as we get in, but it looks like coming out. Actually, so the ban officially is Celeste. I'm confused. Celeste Fort. Those are the bans, Forecourt.
Okay, well, I mean, as long as they're solidified.
So with
then
that,
we're good, and it does look like we're good for this one. So it's going to be Arden, Alpha, Rona. That's another triple melee going forward. Into Kestrel, Kroll, Sky. This is going to be a tough throw for the triple melee.
It's going to be. Yeah, this is going to be tough. That's all there is to say. Because Arden, Rona, they're going to want to jump in. You got a Cruel to kind of, absorb some of that damage, and then you've got Sky and Kestrel to kind of sit on the edges and just pick them away. Yeah, I'm thinking Parallel's got a nice comp here, if they can play it correctly.
That's also the next bigger thing, isn't it? If they can play it correctly. So let's see what they did actually end up picking. It does look like a little bit more of an offensive Coldamik there on the Rona. I really do feel like Ronas need to tank up on this one. If they are going to be jumping in, they're going to be the target of hostility. They need to be able to weather that storm. Suije with a Shiver Blade, or Shiver Steel. Not entirely confident on that pickup, but Mixi is going to go into an aftershock as quick as he can.
Yeah, he's moving in there nice and quick. He's going to go with the CP. I do like the CP Alpha in Battle Royale. It's just a lot of burst. And then, of course, when you do that Termination Protocol and you can maybe that last little bit of health left on the enemy heroes can wipe them completely clean. That's kind of what you want to see him do. Of course, the Rona is going to go weapon. I'd like to see a lot of defense sustain on that Rona, keep alive. As Into the Fray is going to put her in compromising positions. But yeah, just like we thought, Maurice the Beast and Jesus Christ on the Sky doing a great job. Kind of from, just not really taking a lot of damage and dishing out a whole lot of it.
So we used to actually see kind of like the crystal superstars with Kestrel, but this round it's all going to be about the weapon. Absolutely needs to get that active camo going, and for now the weapon's going to be good enough. Kroll, on the other hand, is going to be the front line here from Team Parallel, and with those weakness stacks just adding up and the self-heals, the tankiness that he's already bringing to bear, he's going to be rather tough to take down as quick as we need him to. Mixi doesn't land the damage on top of Slata. Now he's going to eat that death from above. Looks like he will tub thump and get right back up, but you can already see Cole, he's on the defensive. And at the last point of it all, Jesus Christ. I'm not going to call him that for the rest of this. Sky.
Dude, Forecourt, yeah. You missed
Sky's just going to have to CP up.
You missed a great little cliche comment there. You were like talking about CP superstars. And I'm like, no, we're going to have Jesus Christ superstar this matchup. Oh, missed opportunity, I guess.
Lord. 1-1 though will settle at least for now. Dragon, who did die, it was Suije. So again with the Shiver Steel first, I'm not entirely confident on that. Fountain of Renewal to come with this. He has the Gauntlet. He hit that level 6, but it doesn't actually help the team out very much at all.
That was a fantastic Gauntlet though. I mean, Swee couldn't have placed it any better, but unfortunately it doesn't matter as the melee just can't handle this attack, and Team Parallel, they are taking advantage of this this comp. We kind of expected it was going to be a little bit stronger and too strong for Kinetic to handle, and it looks like that may be the case, at least so far. Of course, we do expect to see this Alpha get a little bit stronger. Oh, misses. It's not going to be able to lock on to Kestrel as the Alpha a little bit off, but Sky taking a lot of damage. Does he get out of there? No, he's going to take that Aftershock damage from the Alpha. He goes down.
Mixie's just looking to blow up at this point, get as much damage done. He wants to go shop, I guess, because he's going super aggressive. Doesn't have a lot to go spend, though. Slata's here is going to be able to clean that one up. Coldamik gets stunned on his way over with that into the fray. Does actually have the blender going, but it gets stopped up on the toughness. That is Kroll. And now it's going to be Ace Buff Min is pushing in. This is actually pretty bad for Kinetic.
Yeah, especially considering like how they have to keep fending off these poke attacks, and they're really struggling here. I actually think Team Parallel kind of loosened up a little bit and made a slight mistake, allowing Kinetic to kind of come into that fight. But you know, here we have at the turret. They just want this turret damage. Maurice the Beast, he's going to allow himself to go down here. Cruel's going to actually Cruel's kind of in a tough position too. I'm guessing. Slate is just going to take this one and go down as well. Although he's lasting a long time. At that point, yep, he takes it. He goes down.
Full stacks on almost 2 team members right there. As you did say, he takes his time dropping, but Slate had well over 2,000 to go spent. And he is again tanking up. This is exactly what I want from the Rona. Although it does look like Coldamik has actually figured that all out. Has that Sora Blade Aegis on top of that, a coat of plates, but the Kroll with a Fountain, the Crucible, has his Atlas there as well, and that attack speed, just to cash in on the stacks as quick as he can. So, again, both the front lines for either side, really good. Mixie just looking for that Broken Myth, has it there for the Alpha. Suijay also with an Atlas Pauldron. Stormguard Banner as well. They want to be pushing down as hard as they can.
That was a beautiful death from above. It stunned out the Ardent from his gauntlet, and that couldn't have come worse for Hammer's Kinetic, as now they are looking at an ace with all 3 members of Parallel still alive. Yep, there's nothing Alpha can do, and Team Parallel is going to, they might be able to end it. No, they're not going to be able to end it, just, well, I guess it kind of depends on how this next team fight goes, right? They're going to be showing up to the base just a few seconds before Coldamik and Suijanaris get out of the base here. So, can they take these 2 turrets out fast enough, and will they win this fight?
Well, they're going to take out 1 turret. I have money that they're going to take out both. Will they win the fight? I mean, it's 50-50. Suijay doesn't actually have that gauntlet, right? So as long as they focus down this turret, they are going to be keeping Kinetic a little bit busier than normal. And look at this. Maurice the Beast is kiting off 2 of them. That's leaving Slata and Jesus there to pick up this crystal. And everybody is ignoring Slata. He gets that last shot.
Yeah, Hazel Christus does go down. And it is going to be a loss for Hammer's Kinetic. Win for Team Parallel. And that's not so surprising. I think we both agreed, quite unanimously.
They had the better comp.
They did. They did. That's
better comp. Kroll is just absolutely a triple melee, and you saw how he's able to spread out the weakness, and they weren't able to cash in on him nearly quick enough because he just tanked up. That's what I wanted to see. Level 1 from Rona. She just didn't have the staying power.
Yep, and so now we're going to move on to game number 2, as these Battle Royale matches, they do move nice and fast. We're going to take a look at who they're banning, and I do think, is it going to be the Kestrel or Celeste Fort ban, I believe, this time?
They haven't done their bans yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's old part of the chat. There we go.
So I'm pretty sure they haven't done their bans.
No, they
Let's
haven't
see.
done their bans.
21:44 was almost 10 minutes ago. Yeah, so yeah, just give them a few moments here, Dragon. They'll come back to us.
All right, yeah. So getting that worked out, and yeah, I mean, even though they had the draft go in their favor, I think Parallel did a great job utilizing their advantage. They could have easily blown it. I mean, obviously, you got Coldamik. You're going up against legends, and you can, if you make a mistake there, they'll take advantage of for it. We did see a nice gauntlet. And did you see the bans come out? I'm guessing they're keeping them the same.
I didn't see any ban talk. They switched sides. I know that.
All right, so switch sides. Team Parallel is going to be A, and looks like, I mean, even if they kept the same bands, there was nothing to show up here to show that they...
6 melee again. Wow.
I mean, you got double assassin, though, on the side of Hammer's Kinetic. I think Hammer's Kinetic's got the better comp this time. And the reason I say that is, you know, they've got the ability to get in and out quickly. And in Battle Royale, that's kind of a nice strategy if you play it correctly, to just be able to move in, do damage, get out, move in, do damage, get out. You pick up a couple fountains, and you'll be able to have that sustain. The Cruel is probably going to be the one that you got to watch out for here, right? Because he's going to be able to live through that burst and that poke. So if they could take out this Glaive and Jewel quickly and leave the Cruel kind of alone, should be okay, as we see the first fight starting right off.
So they should also be able to expect here from Parallel that it's going to be a double Crystal comp. Cole the Meek and Mixi are absolutely going to be trying to do what you did just outline. You know, weave in and out, get the damage, reset, get the damage, reset. It's going to be a lot harder, I think, for Mixi. But Cole, I mean, they're going to try. The problem is, you know, who's going to be their target? It has to be the Jewel or the Glaive, because that tanky Kroll is right there. And so far, no deaths yet. Both teams have just been bouncing off each other.
Yeah, so since Barista Beast is sticking in the bush a lot, it does allow them to kind of move the fight up and up the top part of the lane a little bit, giving them just a little bit extra time for them to do damage and avoid the Cruel. Of course, once Barista Beast hits 6, once that From Hell Heart comes out, it's definitely going to add a lot more potential. And man, Parallel doing a good job. Kinetic already going down with First Blood. Suijanair's going down with that Ozo. And it doesn't look like this Kashgataka comes working. That's an ace at just 1.5 minutes.
Again, the only real squishy targets is Glaive at this point. I guess it depends on the angle here for the Jewel, but Crystal Jewel it has a lot of ways to deal with people. She can Goomba Stomp, then the slows coming out from... I'm assuming it's going to be a Frostburn a little bit later on, but you know, once she makes it rain and then the big red button and you jumped on people and you don't have an escape, look at the just tremendous damage it has just with a few bits.
Just a few bits. It was a perfectly land big red button. Yeah, granted, they were going to lose that fight, so that was literally just icing for them. They'd already pushed pretty far. Maybe it would have been nice to have at least one of them kind of squeak out. Like Glaive probably didn't need to go down at that point, but it's not a big deal. At this point, Barista Beast just needs to back off a little bit, give up the turret, and then come in stronger into the next team fight.
So, turret destroyed here, my friend. That's actually going to be a nice response here from Kinetic. They didn't exactly have a lot of pressure to deal with. But now, Parallel, they're still, kind of holding the kill cards. But now Cole the Meek, he's looking for blood. And unfortunately, it doesn't really look like they're getting much out of this one. Suijay is the one to go down. There's the knockback from Jesus. And, well, Cole, are they going to find him? Are they going to find Cole? Well, he shows himself anyways, and it doesn't matter. He just doesn't have the damage. He needs to go spend 2K.
Yeah, he goes down, and Big Red Button comes out, finishes off the Kashka as well. There's another ace. Although the Kashka did get Jesus Christ, and so he does go down. Barista Beast and Slada going to try to take out this turret, and Team Parallel, can they 2-0 Hammer's Kinetic here? It's too early.
It actually could happen. I think that it's very possible.
Too early to be for sure, but it's looking like they're really struggling against this Cruel.
The Crow is just a hard stop when it comes to some of these comps, especially like the melees like this one where they depend upon getting a lot of burst out. He will put a stop to that one, and once he and his team has survived, they're able to just kind of turn around and do all the damage that he needs to.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think the double crystal assassin comp not working out so far. Maybe need a little bit more time. I would have liked to see Taka go with maybe a tension bow early first, just to kind of throw a loop. Definitely get that aftershock after. Maybe just go all proc. But the problem is it looks like Team Parallel has handled it perfectly, and that's kind of impressive to them. Good props to them to be able to kind of sniff that out and deal with it. And I think Hammers has just struggled to kind of be effective at getting in at the right time. These Glaive, Jewel, stuns. Now you got the Hell's Heart from Cruel. There's just a lot of CC now. And so they didn't take advantage of that early game, and now it's kind of like too late. They're really just going to get locked up a lot.
Well, I hear a banger and going down, but I think at the same time we had the Goomba Stomp coming out there from Slada. We do not get a big red button. It does actually get stunned out by the Yummy Catnip Frenzy, so that's actually a really nice turnaround. But now Cole, again, he's down low. Marista Beast and Jesus really healthy. Sweejay's already retreated far back out of this one, and I just don't think that they're going to take the better deal. I think this will be Parallel getting the kills, might even still get the ace here. Depends if Jesus actually goes down. Not even going to happen. Sweejay has very little damage built up. This could be another turret.
This is going to be another turret because they already took a little bit of a chunk onto it from before. Just a tiny bit. It's just Koshka up. She's going to do a lot of damage, but yeah, it's not a problem at all. And of course, the Cruel, he's got that sustain. His Spectral Smite doing great work here. He needs one little barrier. He does pick that up. There's a health barrier too. And now they're working on the Crystal. Okay, exposed Crystal. No damage on it. But this is looking really bad for Hammer's Kinetic.
It's down to the wire, man. They are on the verge of actually dropping. And yeah, I got to say, this would be a really good showing from Parallel. Their first game, very dominant. Here, game number 2, they also look more the same. And Triple Crystal was cool at the very beginning of all this, but there are definitely comps it doesn't work up against.
Yeah, and this is one of them. Too much chain CC. You know, you just can't land these assassin attacks correctly because when you go in, it gets sniffed out, stunned up. And so we're going to be seeing Mixi's going to have to go down here. Tried to put some damage on the turret, doesn't get much for it. And now Ozo and Taka, they are fleeing. They don't want anything to do with it. Well, do they? Taka goes in. I'm wondering if Koldamik has seen the writing on the wall and decides that, you know what? There's not much we're going to do here. Sweetenaris is looking to also just sneak his way out of here, and they've really struggled, man. Hammer's Kinetic going up against really a difficult comp to face, period, and now coming into here and trying to take advantage of this assassin comp, but just not having the tools in the chest to do so.
Yeah, absolutely not. Now Slada coming into this one. Sweejay needs to get that bang ring out, but all Slada has to do here is just hit that big red button. He doesn't have it, but I don't think it will matter. Yummy Cat and Frenzy on top of Marista Beast, and it's just not going to matter 2 bits by the end of it here, Dragon. So that's it for Kinetic. Velocity went out early. Kinetic soon to follow.
Yeah, that's it. They're down. Team Parallel moving on 2-0 here, and I'm pretty surprised, especially that last game, they weren't able to do a better job. But, you know, Parallel having what it takes to get the job done. And with that, we are starting to slowly move all these teams into the round, I guess it's like really the quarterfinals here, as we start to wrap up this tournament. I think we've got a few moments here for Court the stream to just go and take a quick look here at the bracket, as we should be updated here in just a few moments. And so, you know, there's been a lot of exciting matches. Just want to mention that, you know, of course, Forecourt and I have been here with you guys, working through all of it. And so with that matchup here, I think we just got a few updates left. Switch you guys over to the bracket right now. So some of the big heavy hitters, of course, are the fact that we don't have updated is that Parallel just beat Hammer's Kinetic. Gangstar Sirius also moved past, and of course, face Ardent Aurora. That match took place as well. We don't know much about the Vape Nation versus the winner of Mango and Necrolite. Of course, we also know that Cloud9 beat.
Man, it's getting to become some bloody semis. Can't wait to see what the results are a little bit on later this week. But, you know, some really hard-fought matches. We've really seen, you know, the rise and the fall of the Triple Crystal, I think. It's not the end-all. There are counters to it.
Absolutely, yeah. So great gameplay. It's been absolutely a blast here for Court to be casting these matches with you. This is your last cast here. You're not going to be taking it over with me to the finals, if I'm correct.
Now, I believe it's with Excoundrel, the pretty boy.
Yes, Excoundrel will be finishing this off with me, but we will be back here on the 21st, so you guys definitely are going to want to come out and watch this conclusion of the first ever EnForcerz Battle Royale Championship. Thanks for everyone for coming out here and watching on Mobcrush and Twitch. We appreciate the support. Make sure you hit the follow, and with that, good night.